at a stage where for me, it wasn't the same mindset that I was earlier in the first startup or even in the second startup. But this time it's more about having this mindset of, in Sanskrit, there is this term called, I'm not a Sanskrit guy, but just this term that I'm associated with called Nishkama Karma. So it's something that you don't associate the results or outcome to what you're doing. So that is the framework that I follow.
From an organizational point of view, when you're setting goals from an organization, or when you're hitting the targets, or when you're missing those targets, how are you dealing with that, or how do you bring that in moments of stress or pressure?
So of course you can't have without an outcome-based model, especially when you're running a business. So you'll have to sort of say this or use this judiciously, the framework itself. It's more about definitely when things don't work and there is a process, there is an effort that you've done, there are certain things that you actually, tactics or strategies that you actually worked out. If it is not coming up with the right expected result, obviously you go and tweak that, right? So if you've done the process, and if the results don't come, you just go and tweak the process, but not much that you can do beyond that, right? So you'll have to be aware of that. So obviously the targets, and we do have targets, we do work on numbers, and we need to see how many people actually transact, what is their amount that they are actually investing. All these are things that we measure, and we measure very deeply, but it doesn't mean that we are going to be hung up on that. So we'll just go back and see what is it that we can do to change things. So that's a process that we have.
Yes. And I think what you're mentioning is also the key message of the Bhagavad Gita, that you focus on the action, but you play the game to win, but you focus on the action and not on the results, right? So beyond the results that you produce, right, what difference has it made to the quality of your life or of your working with this philosophy?
Yeah, absolutely. That's really helped me stay much more calmer. And when you're actually calm, the decisions are also much better from my own analysis of what the decisions that I've been taking. So the decision making has definitely been much better because you are now not stressed out when you're actually taking these decisions. You have a much more calmer mind in terms of how you are actually framing the problem and arriving at a solution. It's actually a challenge, right? You don't see this as, I need to get this right somehow, and that results in desperation, that results in doing things which are not really good for you, good for the organization. Instead, you just look at this as a problem and take it as a challenge and then solve it. You come with a much different perspective, and that's been working very well.